Hey there, my name is Przemek and this is my top 20 list of favorite releases of 2024. I should have paused this video much earlier, but sorry, I was struggling with a terrible infection the last week, so hence the break. But everything is alright now, and now this top 20 video, and after that we'll get back to regular reviews. Okay, so without further ado, let's begin with the list. Number 20, it was Wędrowcy Tułacze Zbiegi, latest EP called Droga do Domu. It's a Polish project, so Wędrowcy Tułacze Zbiegi, it's kind of wanderers, fugitives, something like that. And the title Droga do Domu means the road home. And this is the last work of Wędrowcy Tułacze Zbiegi. According to the musicians, there will be no more. Another EP again. It's a bit of a shame that in the end they gave us only this much, but well, what are you gonna do? This is the project that starting with kind of post-black metal traveled through a very strange musical regions like post-punk, cold wave, synth-pop and more, expanding its own style and reputation, at least in Poland. Besides, behind this band are musicians known from known Polish black metal bands like Furia, Gruzja or Toten Messe. And on Droga do Domu, the band partially returns to its roots, because the black metal element is more noticeable than on a few previous releases. However, this group is still a group of explorers, and it's kind of original, at least on Polish scene. And although it won't be my favorite Wędrowcy Tułacze Zbiegi material, I am very sorry that this is the end of their journey. But I also know that they will continue to give vent to their creativity in their other projects. So number 20, Wędrowcy Tułacze Zbiegi, Droga do Domu. Number 19, Namkhar Vortex, the Sarajevo Spiral. I won't talk much about this album because the video review appeared on the Santa Sangre YouTube channel. This will also be the case of a few other albums on this list, but this collaboration of two talented and quite prolific projects is a very successful journey into the past, to the dark times just before World War I. A journey marked by dark ambient with a delicate martial industrial subtext, and a very interesting concept supported by very good music. Not only you will enjoy the sounds, but the Sarajevo Spiral is also a food for thoughts. It will make you think later and look for parallels between what once was and what is now, because this album is a perfect reflection of the quote that those who don't remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Number 19, Namkhar Vortex, the Sarajevo Spiral. And now number 18, Third Eye of the Crown, Through Doorways of Stone. It's a project that was completely unknown to me before, and it surprised me with one of the best neo dark folk albums released this year. Okay, EP, not album, because it's only a couple of minutes of music, but together with Through Doorways of Stone, this band left me hungry for more. Also, I won't talk too much about this one. You can find my review. It was in the same video actually as the review of the Sarajevo Spiral, but for me it's a breath of fresh air on the dark folk scene. Even though the music is rooted in the past, referring to both the glory days of World Serpent and psychedelic folk from the 70s, but it's still a breath of fresh air. And above all, those great vocals, strong and delicate at the same time. And for me, they right away kind of advanced to the top vocals of the genre. So far away from Tony Wakeford, the light years. And this is music that could only have been created on the British Isles. This feeling of moors and misty meadows is inimitable. So I am waiting for a new album, number 18, Through Doorways of Stone, the EP by Third Eye of the Crown. Now number 17, Rhythm, Distant Dead Stars. It's Rhythm's first album for Cryochamber with rather unusual cosmic atmospheres, at least unusual for this particular project. And it's a perfect dark ambient with a dense and monolithic structure, sometimes encrusted with a more noisy inserts. I don't know if this is the best album of this project. Probably not, because for me all the Rhythm releases are more or less on the same very high level. But still, it's a great piece of dark ambient. Again, you can find the video review on the channel. I also leave the link in the description of this video, but for fans of Scandinavian dark ambient, it's a must-have. Number 17, Rhythm, Distant Dead Stars. And now number 16 on my list, number 16 when it comes to music, and number 1 when it comes to the cover pictures, because I love this cover. It's wonderful. It's of course Nordvargr Resignation 4. Again, it was reviewed on my channel, and it's a rhythmic incarnation of Nordvargr, not as crude as Pup Fabrique, but also more harsh than Resignation 1, which was very deep dub techno oriented. An album so deeply embedded in my brain. I'm talking about Resignation 1, that it was one of the flashpoints that inspired me to create my own new musical project called Quantum Fractal, but it's a different story. And Resignation 4 is probably the best thing Nordvargr has been involved in since the last MZ412 album, at least of those I have heard. Again, more in my video review. I'll leave in the link in the description. Number 16, Nordvargr Resignation 4. And number 15, it's a Theologian, All the Tyranny in the World Won't Put a God in the Heavens. I like the using word monolithic in my reviews for music that is densely textured, but also full of space and a kind of epicness maybe. But every time I hear a new Theologian album, I realize that I'm grossly overusing the word monolithic, because it should be reserved exclusively for the Lich's project. This album is another absolutely brilliant Theologian release. The album, released by Chthonic Streams, is, according to the label, a blistering indictment of the global hegemony of religion, war, white supremacy, and humanity's accelerating race to the bottom. And it's a powerful mix of death industrial, power electronics, and dark ambient, which seems to be a bit more than on other Theologian albums. I mean dark ambient, at least of those I know. And Lich never goes into some mindless noise. There's always something more here, whether it's female chants or some field recordings, and some those compositions itself and structures which are far from being random. And it always gives me the feeling of being in touch with something gigantic. Number 15. Theologian, all the tyranny in the world won't put a God in the heavens. Now, number 14. Schattenmus, Schicksalweg. This album may be surprising if you know my tastes a bit, because I'm not a big fan of this kind of music, as Schicksalweg is old school gothic with a touch of electro and dark wave, and it all is sung in German, but I was charmed by this album from a kind of geographical and cultural point of view, because it perfectly reflects the atmosphere of the time of political transformation in the 90s, the time of change, the winds of change, and how the gothic counterculture functioned at that time. This album kind of reminds me of a concert when gods from East and West Germany meet for the first time and realize how much they have in common, and despite the political barrier that has been separating them practically forever, and although of course it's a kind of dark I wanted to say dark ambient album, but of course it's a dark album, but at the same time, to me personally, it reminds me of joy and friendship, something very positive, and for that reason I like it a lot. And in general, I would even say that this album doesn't sound like something stylized for the 90s, but recorded in today's contemporary way. If I didn't know what Schattenmus was, I'd say it was some lost gem from the early 90s. Very, very cool album. Number 14, Schattenmus, Schicksalweg. And number 13 is Low Frequency Operator, Non-Verbal EP again. And this is my second greatest discovery of the year, after the Third Eye of the Crown. Low Frequency Operator is Lutz Rach side project. Lutz is a mastermind behind Toso AA, and on this short material Lutz explores more rhythmic industrial atmospheres created, I think, exclusively using analog equipment. But you can still feel the spirit of Toso AA here, and under this seemingly mechanical, robotic surface, a certain melancholic atmosphere is constantly present. And this is absolutely not some kind of post-apocalyptic story, I don't know, about artificial intelligence conquering the world, nothing like that, because contrary to appearances, it is such an intimate record, as if it was music about someone's inner personal feelings, but filtered through a kind of cybernetic curtain, And the musician writes on his Bandcamp that it's ideal for a car ride at night with no return. There is something to it. And finally, an interesting fact, together with our second reviewer, Peter Marks, we discovered Low Frequency Operator more or less at the same time, independently of each other. And we both were thrilled, so it's probably something worth your attention too, so check it out. Number 13, Low Frequency Operator, Non-Verbal. I have this list with the titles here, because sometimes I have to remind them. Yeah, it was number 13. Number 12 is Karnos, Concealed in the Silence. I knew this name before, but somehow I never had the opportunity to listen to Karnos music, and this turned out to be a big mistake on my part, because the work of this Portuguese project is a great dark folk, strongly rooted in Portuguese sensitivity, but at the same time it is quite universal, meditative, sometimes dark, deeply spiritual, and one in which where you can feel the respect for nature, exactly the same as our ancestors gave to nature. I also talk more about this album in the video review. I will leave the link in the description. Again, number 12, Carnos, Concealed in the Silence. And now number 11, Lin Swin, Fomalhaut, Mahasamadhi. Another album which had a video review. So for more of my feelings, I invite you to the link to the video link in the description. And for me, this is one of the brightest points in the Fluttering Dragon discography after the label's reactivation. Welsh Polish ambient based on multi-layered drones, not so much melodic as harmonious and meditative, blending well with the concept based on Hindu spirituality. This album fantastically introduces the listener to a trance, which is close even to kind of out of body experience. This is probably my favorite album for relaxation and breaking away from everyday's life of all that were released in 2024. Number 11, Lunitswin Fomalhaut Mahasamadhi. And now number 10, our compilation, Santa Sangre Magazine presents Altered States of Reality. Why in the middle, on the 10th place? Because this is where all our interests and musical fascinations kind of intersect. So let's treat it this 10th place more symbolically, because compared to the rest of the albums discussed today, Altered States of Reality is, how to say it, unclassifiable. I don't know even if such word exists in English, but I hope you know what I mean. And sure, there are tracks that I like more, there are some that I like a little bit less, but overall this is our kind of Santa Sangre showcase, maybe. This is the kind of music we like, appreciate, and it's generally a nice cross-section of the post-industrial underground Anno Domini 2024. If you haven't heard it yet, check it out. I recommend it. There are really some truly magical moments on Altered States of Reality. Number 10, our own compilation, Altered States of Reality. And number 9, Northr, The Catastrophe of Self-Destructive Mentality. My second favorite release from Fluttering Dragon. This is a dark ambient classic to the core. I would even say that this one is my favorite Fluttering Dragon release after its resurrection. Classic to the core, but so brilliantly produced and arranged. You know, listening to such albums, I completely forget that dark ambient is a genre that, apart from technical questions, is rather stagnant, and it doesn't discover any new paths or creative ways of expression or anything like that. But really, who cares? This particular genre is not about that. I think it doesn't even really need that. Good compositions, check. Great atmosphere, check. Thought-provoking concept, anti-war concept, check. This album has all the attributes of perfect dark ambient craftsmanship, nothing more, nothing less. Once again, I refer you to the video review, link in the description. Number 9, Northr, The Catastrophe of Self-Destructive Mentality. What do we have next? Number 8. Well, I've just reviewed this album, Phileas, Obsidian Forest. A video discussing this one was released really a couple of days ago. I don't know, 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. So I refer you to it. I won't say more. It's just the best Phileas material ever, in my opinion. atmospheric and melodic dark ambient of the highest order, perfect for a long autumn or winter forest walks. Number 8, Philios Obsidian Forest. And now number 7, Hauntologist Hollow. And this is one of 2 or 3, even of 4 metal albums that made quite an impression on me this year. I talk about the second one a little bit later, but the other 2 that didn't make up to top 20 are the new albums by Oranzi Pazuzu and Paysage d'Hiver, but to be honest, I haven't listened to those 2 enough to be sure that they deserve a place on my list, although they are really fantastic albums. And Hauntologist is a duo made up of people from bands like Mgła or Owl Woods Graves, and the bass here is modern black metal, somewhat derived from Mgła, but probably kept at a slightly slower tempo, but at the same time introducing other elements here and there, like something like, I don't know, dark folk, maybe post-punk or gothic even, or even ambient in the last extraordinary track, Tsar Kruków, which means Tsar of Crows, where some kind of girl with a certain shy amusement tells her dream and about Tsar of Crows, with a background of ethereal guitar sequences, and despite all this, everything here holds together, and these are simply great, effortless songs. Number 7, Hauntologist Hollow. Number 6, Dahlia Steer, Apeiron. Quite a surprising but how successful return of Dahlia Steer. It's really strange, and I can't really understand it why no label has released it, because this music only came out on Bandcamp in digital form. Still dark ambient, but there is also something new in his music, something that Dahlia Steer has never offered before. I'm talking about that kind of futuristic or dystopian, cyberpunk even touch, because there is kind of post-apocalyptic atmosphere. There are dead cities, but they are closer to, for example, the feeling from Cyberpunk 2077 than, let's say, Cormac McCarthy's The Road. And it's really great to listen to. It's cinematic, very melodic, and very ear-friendly. As for ambient, there are moments when Apeiron even approaches synthwave in feeling, more in feeling than in the compositions itself, because there are no 80s rhythms or anything like that. But this dystopian, futuristic, noir ambient at its finest. It's a really great album. Number 6, Dahlia Steer, Apeiron. And number 5 is the second metal album I was talking about. No surprise, I think. It's Blood Incantation, Absolute Elsewhere, one of the most discussed metal premieres this year, and when it comes to death metal, it's definitely the most important. According to some, a milestone in the genre. According to others, a rather overhyped album. My opinion, you can guess by seeing this album in 5th place. So definitely one of the best death metal albums I have heard in many years. Where in addition to this death metal foundation, we also hear brilliantly arranged space trips, death metal meets cosmic music. And to be honest, I don't think that this is the perfect unity of the two genres. It seems to me that there is still room to strive to create a perfect hybrid, but Blood Incantation are well on their way to achieve it. After all, if not them, then who? Number 5, Blood Incantation, Absolute Elsewhere. Number 4 is Sun Vessel, A Seed Fallen to Earth. Sun Vessel is a project that made me stop crying after death in June by extracting the essence of June's neo-dark folk and combining it with a good sense of melody and the talent for great compositions. Sun Vessel created the best album in this genre this year. I discussed disgusting here. I discussed the previous album on the channel. It was called A Seed Fallen to Earth, which was great, but this one the previous album was Edged of Eternity. This one is A Seed Fallen to Earth, and the previous one was great, but this one is probably even better. The musician, while maintaining its core, this neo-dark folk core, introduces few fresh elements, references to post-punk or even metal, and all this brings something extra to the music. Basically, each of these songs is immediately catchy and you immediately want to come back to them. I think that big future lies ahead of Sun Vessel, but if you don't and if you don't know this one, the second album by Sun Vessel, reach for it without any hesitation. Number 4, Sun Vessel, A Seed Fallen to Earth. And now top 3. Number 3 is a collaboration. Tea House Radio, Skeldos, Night Moss. Swedish-Latvian collaboration. Tea House Radio is one of many projects by Per Borgström, known mainly from Hammerhide, and Skeldos is an alias of Vytenis Eitminavicius. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And this is, at least for me, the most emotionally affecting ambient I have heard this year. These are such sad lullabies that will wrap you in a warm cocoon to sleep, but at the same time longing for something undefined. They arouse this kind of feeling, you know. There's also a delicately folk touch here, probably because one of the instruments used here is an accordion, which of course doesn't play any happy lively melodies, but is another accessory for building melancholic drones. And the vocals, probably in Latvian, this adding vocals may bring to mind To a Child Dancing in the Wind, album by Trom and Martin Bates, although on Night Moss the vocals are more subtle, without this affection of Martin Bates singing, and this form of ambient suits me even better. So somehow it, Nomen affects me more. The musicians on Bandcamp write, for traveling over dreamy marshes through fields of juniper, in the rain, in an endless stream. A very fitting description. Autumn rain, grey sky, a candle in the window. You know, there is nothing left to do but to go to sleep and hope for a better tomorrow. It's a wonderful album, number 3. Tea House Radio and Skeldos, Night Moss. And now number 2, City's Last Broadcast and Fractalist, Phantasmora. Per Borgström again, who, as you can see, appears on the podium twice, this time with City's Last Broadcast and in collaboration with Fractalist from Greece, a project by Dimitrios Valasopoulos. Again, there is a video review on my channel of this one, and I invite you to watch it more than those others, because I think it's one of my best reviews I made this year. At least that one was one of I'm the most proud of. And again, this is very evocative music, recalling the decadent times of fin de siècle and the atmosphere of spiritualistic seances so popular in the upper classes of society at that time. There is a bit of old-fashioned horror here, intensified by the sound itself. You know, both musicians prefer an analog old school approach to the subject, tape manipulations, etc. And what atmospheres those two gentlemen create. You will listen to it at night in a dark room, and every shape around you will start moving, and you'll start to wonder if you're not alone, if some supernatural presence has not flowed from the speakers straight into your safe haven. I absolutely recommend it, and it's really try to listen to this one alone at night. Number 2, City's Last Broadcast and Fractalist Phantasmora. And number 1, Ultharm 7 Ultras, the album that made me stop longing for a new MZ412 album. And beware, it's a risky statement and controversial statement from my side. I think that 7 Ultras is equal to the best works of MZ412, even despite the fact that it was created by 33.3% of MZ412. Death industrial, dark ambient, but presented it in such an exciting form that listening to it, you feel a kind of surge of energy and really want to break something, or at least shout "All hail the serpent" with Ultharm. I definitely listened to 7 Ultras the most this year, and what can I say? I am delighted. As far as I know, MZ412 are already working on a new album, and if the remaining two musicians, Nordvarg and Drak, are in such a good creative form as Ultharm, we will receive an outstanding work. Again, a review of this one was also published on my channel, link in the description. And in fact, I didn't hesitate for a moment to put 7 Ultras in the first place. Or what can I say? A masterpiece, and for me, the best album released in 2024, Ultharm 7 Ultras. Okay, that would be it. This was my top 2024 albums list. If you want to share yours lists or favorite albums in the comment section, please do so. That would be from me for now. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.